All right, so today I want to show you how a couple different ways that you can make a Native American style hide painting or drawing. So there are a couple things you can use. If you have brown or like a kind of tan color of paper, you can use that. Or if you just have white paper, you can always color it so that it's sort of a tannish color, because remember, we're thinking about a buffalo hide or some sort of animal hide that Native Americans used to paint on. If you have a paper bag, that's also something that you can do. You can cut the bottom of your paper bag. This might even work if you have a big grocery bag, and then just put that piece away because you don't need it. And then cut this part open. And then you would have a piece of brown paper. Okay. Or your grown-ups have some paper they use to, wrap things to mail, or if they got a package and they have brown paper, you could use that too. Okay, so any of that paper will work. I'm going to use the brown paper bag, the lunch bag. Okay, and now we're going to use our fingers. We're going to tear this so that it looks a little bit more like an animal hide. Okay, because an animal hide is not going to be a perfect rectangle. Okay, so we're going to take our time, let our thumbs kind of walk together there and tear this paper so that it looks a little bit more like a hide. Okay, you want to go slow because you're using your fingers here kind of as scissors. All right, so see how I've kind of made that side so that it sort of almost looks like legs, a tail, and like what would have been the neck. Okay. So go slow. All right, so again, remember, it doesn't need to be perfect. That's not what we're after. We want it to look sort of, like the shape of an animal, like the shape of an animal hide. All right, now I'm going to use my little sheet of symbols that are Native American symbols, and I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to pick a few colors. I'm going to do black and orange and red and maybe some brown, if I can find a brown. Okay, there it is. All right, those other colors I'm just going to push out of my way. All right, so remember that a lot of hide paintings told a story. That's called narrative art. Just like if you write a personal narrative, you're telling a story about yourself. Native Americans would tell stories about their culture through these symbols. So let's look at some things here. Like maybe it could be morning. So I'm going to draw that symbol. Okay, see how that's the symbol for morning. And maybe I was in my TP. And then this is the symbol for happy. I was happy because it was spring. And I love spring. And then I saw some bird tracks. So I went over a mountain. And I made camp. I'm going to add a big sun over here for it to be a sunny day. Okay, so just maybe think of a little story you want to tell. Now I'm going to do something kind of strange. I'm going to wad this up. Now if you use regular paper, make sure you're really, really careful. Well, any kind of paper you use, really. Make sure you're really careful when you open this back up because you don't want to rip it. Okay, but wad it up. Now what that does is that gives me kind of a cool texture. And I want to do that after I've drawn on it because it makes it more bumpy. It makes it a little harder to draw on it. So do it after you're finished drawing. And you can add lots of symbols and tell your story on your own Native American hide painting.